Here for the media rides of the Pulsar NS400Z.
Nice. It has a very deep base. This does get an off-road mode. Whew. Save.
Think of it here, for 1.85 lakhs you're getting 40 horsepower motorcycle. Only few negatives for me are looks wise, this is so similar to the NS200. Reached Pune around 12:30, dropped the bike in the showroom, met with few familiar faces, chatted for a while, had lunch there, and then now in the cab heading to Lonavala. And as you can see by the signboard there, we are here for the media rides of the Pulsar NS400Z. Definitely daring and definitely the biggest Pulsar till date. We have 4 colors, red, white, grey, and there should be a black. Nice, I like the red color. For me, red always wins. My first bike memories are with a Pulsar. So this branding goes a long way. This is what I learnt on the 150. And I'm excited to ride this tomorrow. These bits, carbon finish, not carbon fiber though. This is the same frame as the NS200. Engine's the same as the Dominar 373cc engine. The suspension and the tuning is different, so we'll get to see that tomorrow. Underbelly exhaust like the old Duke 390s. And if you're wondering where we are in this nice resort called Upper Deck in Lonavala, and look at the view there. Lovely, right? Let's see if we can get to explore some of those roads tomorrow. That would be fun.
Time for first ride impressions of the Pulsar NS400Z, and in the red color, which I like. First start of the day. Nice. It has a very deep base. Underbelly exhaust for better center of gravity. Nice, smooth with a deep base. Leaving this lovely resort called Upper Deck. I mean, the location is just lovely. I think this would be amazing in monsoon. Yesterday evening the sunset was nice, but then there's a lot of heat and fog, so couldn't show the place much. But nice location. So what Bajaj planned for us is, they thought we'll do a short ride and then come back to the resort, have lunch, then head to Chakan, their plant, for a track session. Unfortunately, I'm going to Chandigarh today evening, and the latest last flight that I could find is at 5 o'clock. So I won't be able to do the track session in the evening. So I'm just gonna ride, and I didn't want to go ride, come back to the resort again, and then go drop this bike in Chakan, because that's a condition. But for now, I need to ride this bike for a short while to understand what it is, and then give you my first ride impressions, because as of now I can tell everything feels nice. The suspension is on a softer side because none of these bumps are felt so much. Especially the entry to this resort is so weird. Like, some of it is paved, but you'll also get off-road. This does get an off-road mode, but you need to be under 25 kilometers per hour. But the ABS intervention is less. That's what's being done in the off-road mode. They have road, rain, sport, which changes engine mapping, ABS, and traction control is independent. So that can be adjusted on the fly. Typical places where a Pulsar would be ridden here: small villages, guard roads, bad roads, hilltops mein, small villages mein. Pulsar is a very familiar bike. See, these are the off-roads that I was experiencing in the car yesterday. Nice. Can you stand? Yes, you can stand, but is it needed? For the bumps, maybe. Not bad, yeah. Suspension is good. I don't know how it will handle slush, but that's where traction control and ABS come into the picture. The importance of having traction control and that off-road mode, even though some might wonder, do you need an off-road mode on this bike? You see a lot of people in villages, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities ride these bikes across all road conditions, be it farmlands or kacha roads, paved roads, ghats and all. So off-roads come randomly. So in that regard, for people who want a bike which is extremely accessible at 1.85 lakhs, by the way, which I'll talk to you at a later point, but they might encounter conditions and they don't have multiple bikes for each riding condition like we do. With such a powerful bike, they might be slightly overwhelmed. So for them, this off-road mode would really help in making the drive comfortable and easy. That's the plan. And I think it's a good initiative by Bajaj to have a dedicated off-road mode, though it's not a pure off-road mode, and I don't think a pure off-road mode is needed as such for this category of a bike. Anyway, let me experience the bike a bit more, ride to Ambi Valley, which is just 25 minutes from here. Then we'll find a nice place to talk about this, and then the final stretch would be a ride on the highway. That will conclude both the portions of this first ride impressions.
Please bear the location. It's a lot of nature noises and some of the sounds are scary, so I'll wrap this up quickly. But I had a chance to ride this lovely machine for the last 45-50 minutes across multiple road conditions. You've seen the off-road section when we exited the resort, right? After that, I found some narrow city roads, some village roads, and then some winding ghat roads. A bit bumpy right now, even though there are no rains. And on a whole, thoroughly enjoyed it. One or two incidents in ghats where the bumpy sections, the front slightly gave away, but luckily controlled it, nothing happened. That's maybe the tire pressure and also the bumpy roads. It has the same engine as the Dominar, and the perimeter frame, the chassis that you see is also from Dominar, but the reinforcements are different because this is 17 kilos lighter. The power and torque figures are here. They are slightly tuned differently, even though the same as Dominar. This is a sports naked, whereas Dominar is a sports tourer. So the way it delivers is different. The way it feels, the connect that you have with the motorcycle will also be different. Like, this is supposed to be more fun, nimble bike that you'll ride in city. In the ghats, this was handling well. Maybe I would change the tires. The brakes are okay. There is a bit more dive on the front, so you might feel there is a lot more bite on the brakes, but actually it's the dive of the suspension. The brakes are organic, so if you want more braking power, switch to centered. And the reason the suspension is softer is because they want this to handle multiple terrains and conditions, not just the city roads, but 90% of the people will end up using this in the city, to be honest. Anyway, rear suspension is very soft. The saddle is comfortable in the short stretch that we did. I think we'll get to know more once we ride back to Chakan, because that's a 1.5 hour ride, and I'll try to do it non-stop, so we'll get an idea if the seat and the rear suspension is comfortable enough. What else? This is loaded to the gills in terms of the instrument cluster and the features. It has Bluetooth connectivity. The small section you see is where you will get turn-by-turn navigation. It will be arrow style navigation here. Unfortunately, my phone's not connected, so I can't show you that. But a simple LCD, colored LCD. You see different colors here, red, green. This is slightly on the smaller side. A square display, that's what, probably 1 inch, 1x1. Anyway, use the controllers here, which are slightly mushy. So this is the main screen. Trip A, you can turn Bluetooth on and off once you press up and down. Get vehicle info, where you can change the riding mode and traction control. Battery, distance to empty. Lap timer bhi hai. You can see the riding modes here. The fuel gauge is here. It's about cost cutting and giving you the balance of price and features. And talking about features, you get USB charging right here. 12.5 litre fuel tank was giving me 28 kmpl. So in that sense, good enough fuel efficiency. That's a claimed one. Might be less. Lights, we didn't get to see much, but you get the nice thunderbolt effect of the DRLs and a projector here. On a whole, thoroughly enjoyed this motorcycle. Just think of it here, for 1.85 lakhs, you're getting 40 horsepower motorcycle. For college going kids, where this Pulsar is aimed at, I mean, that would be really a dream come true. When every other 400cc is about 2 lakhs, this is this is bang on the pricing. And it's a very capable motorcycle with a lot of features, to be honest. In that sense, I think they have hit it out of the park. Only a few negatives for me are looks wise, this is so similar to the NS200. I mean, the tank shrouds and all are slightly different. You see this curve here, this is different. The rear panel is different. Quite a few changes, but visibly this looks a lot like the NS200. So in that sense, I wish it was bigger, it had a unique look, but then the price wouldn't be possible. So Bajaj, when they launched this motorcycle, it's all about balancing price and performance. Let's get on the highway and see how this bike feels, because I think the nature is getting really angry at me, seeing the number of sounds that are going up.
कैसे लगा गाड़ी देखने में? अगला बाइक क्या होगा खरीद करने तो?
मैं तो अभी वो GT 650 सोच रहा हूँ।
ओ बड़ा स्प्लेंडर से डायरेक्टली 650।
वो तो ड्रीम बाइक है।
एवरेज 28 तक देते हैं, वो कंपनी बोल रहा है, बट आसपास में 25 से 30 तक। चलो भाई, ऑन माई वे टू द बजाज प्लांट इन चक्कन। Decent traffic for a Monday in the outskirts of Lonavala. I think it's the rush of people coming back from their weekend trips, but on pure tarmac like this, the suspension is perfectly set up. It's not too soft or hard, but you get those cement patches which are uneven. There I felt this is slightly on the stiffer side for my liking, but this bike at the end of the day is a naked sport, so it is meant to be slightly more agile, fun and stiff compared to something like the Dominar, which was meant for touring, comfortable suspension, larger seat. Talking about seat, this is still not a wider seat or a larger bike. In terms of ergonomics, I think this bike is perfect. Where the handlebar is, where the foot pegs are, I think I'm sitting, the rider triangle is really good. But in terms of the size, I can't move much on this motorcycle. It's not a large, big motorcycle, which I think it should have been. You need a bit more space. This feels slightly better than the 200s or the 250s. So that's where maybe Bajaj lost a bit on maybe differentiating this bike compared to their other bikes in the lineup. But again, as I mentioned, this bike is more about the balance between price and performance. Compromise of using a lot of existing part engineering, be it the NS200 parts or the Dominar parts. The only part which they didn't use at all is the suspension. This is a brand new suspension. So in that regard, you're getting a good compromise between specs and performance that's needed, and also at an affordable price. Auto barely fit hoga. Man, I love that meaty, bassy exhaust note or the engine note of this motorcycle. And it's very fun in the city, man. Like, you can flick this so easily. Like, maneuvering the traffic on this is a piece of cake. Man, I wish the screen was bigger. I like the design of it, but just in terms of the overall size, the fonts are tiny. I can only see the speedo and the gear shift indicator. That's it. This bike doesn't get a quick shifter, but it does clutchless upshifts pretty well. Downshifts, let's see. 5th, 4, 3, 2, not bad, huh? 3, 4, 5, all the gears without using the clutch. It's not as smooth as the competition, but it works. I mean, at least the upshifts are pretty smooth. Downshifts are a bit, I mean, ideally I wouldn't suggest anyone to do clutchless downshifts, because you have to match the revs, and sometimes that can damage the engine if not done well. So stay away from that. Use only clutchless technique to do upshifts. That's the safest way. So far I'm cruising around 80 to 90 on this road. It's a highway, to be honest, and the suspension is pretty comfortable. We had only rumble strips so far, a bit wavy road, but this is handling it with ease. I would love to increase the preload a bit. It's at 3, number 3 setting. It has 6 levels. So if you're on the heavier side, you can go up. Man, it's not enjoying the rumble strips. So far I've done 42 kilometers and getting a fuel efficiency of 30 kilometers per liter. That's higher than the claimed one as per the briefing yesterday. In city conditions it can be 28, 27, but in highway 30 seems to be easy. I think now you have a brilliant group of motorcycles to choose from, with each having their own USP. Let's start with the family of bikes here, right? You have the Pulsar 400 in this Naked Sport, which is fun in the city, short highway rides and all. Then you have the Duke 390, which is way more fun but way more aggressive also. Then you have the Speed 400, which is a retro classic, where if you care something about looks, the brand image, something more city oriented, then you have that. If you still want drive but something that you can tour on and also do a bit of mild off-roading, then you have the Scrambler 400X. But if you want to go full off-road and still have fun, then you have the KTM 390 Adventure X or the 390 Adventure. They have different variants now. And if you're looking outside the family, there's a Himalayan 450 for off-roading. There is, oh, how can I forget the Swat Pillion here? Swat Pillion 401. That's a much better bike in terms of the space, the comfort, the ride. I think I enjoyed that motorcycle in terms of the overall package, except for the lack of tubeless tires. What else do we have in the competition besides Himalayan? X440 hai, lovely low-end torque, but the suspension on the front is again too soft. It bottoms out a bit, but in terms of the torque, it's one of the most fun bikes in the Ghats and the mountains. Most of the time it's the torque, not the BHP that matters. Torque is about how quick you are, and BHP is about how fast you can go. In terms of usability, that also comes into the picture. So you have tons of options in the 400cc category, and all I can say is go test ride all the bikes, then take a call. Each have their own USPs. Like now we have ridden all of them, and I can't pick one because I don't know what purpose I'm looking for. They are all good in their own way. For ride, I would give maybe 7 out of 10. Handling 8.5. Features 8.5. Performance, for the weight, it's pretty good. So 8.5 again. Pricing 10 out of 10. In fact, maybe 11 out of 10 if I can do that. What else we have? Comfort, yeah, maybe 7 out of 10. I mean, not the ride comfort, but just the comfort in terms of the seat and the space. And design is subjective. I don't want to give a rating. Personally, I think it can be a lot better, so maybe a 5 out of 10. Total would be here, so average it out. The weightage for each one, in the sense that some might give design a bigger preference than performance, so the weightage also changes accordingly. So in that sense, it's just not like sab mila ke average what 8 out of 10, it's a lovely motorcycle. No, depends on the weightage you give for each feature or each factor. See, it has good enough pull. Anyway, if you can go past the looks and want something practical, fun, this is the bike for you. At a cost, man, that cost is still a shocker. Chalo, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this first ride impressions, and in case you're watching this in the night time, have a good night and take care.